part of the law of the land. At dahil po doon, ito ay kailangan ipatupad ng ating gobyerno. So, hindi lang po ang mga opisyales at mga empleyado ng gobyerno po ang dapat mag-implement ng ating batas, kundi pati ang mga ahensya. Saan pa naman kayo nakakita ng mga empleyado, mga opisyales ng gobyerno sa aming pananaw ang sinabi po ng legal opinion ng DOJ. At napakalinaw po sa World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control or the FCTC na ipinagbabawal po ang donasyon ng tobacco industry hindi lang sa gobyerno pero dapat pati ang ating lipunan ay tumatanggi sa mga donasyon na ito. Dahil ang pakay po ng tobacco industry ay magpalaganap ng kanilang mga produkto, kumita ng pera, bahala na kung may magkasakit o mamatay, di ba? So, bakit po tatanggap ang ating gobyerno ng donasyon mula sa isang industriya na nakakapinsala at nakakapatay ng kapwa Pilipino? Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Doc Rul. Susundan naman po ni Ms. May Mendoza.
Isang mapagpala at magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Alam nyo, parati as commissioner, tinatanggihan ko yung humarap sa media kasi medyo discomfort ako. Pero ngayon, tinapot ako para i-share sa inyo yung aking sentiments at pag-analyze nitong DOJ's opinion. Ang usapan natin ngayon ay tungkol sa paghingi-alam ng tobacco industry sa mga pulisiya natin sa kalusugan ng bayan, lalo ng ating mga kabataan, pag-asa sa ating bayan. Kaya una kong gusto sabihin, nakakabini ang katahimikan ng Secretary Robosa at CSG Chair ng Progress tungkol sa pagtanggap ng gobyerno sa donasyon ng tobacco industry. Dahil alam natin ang donasyon nila ay kakarapin sa ginagastos ng gobyerno sa mga sakit na dala ng sigarilyo na nasa 400 billion pesos. Diba? Ang sabi, ito sinabi na ni Dr. Yul, ang sabi ng DOJ, ang mga ahensya katulad ng DSWD ay maaaring tumanggap ng donasyon dahil sa CSR ng tobacco industry community. Ngunit, lahat ng officials and employees hindi pwedeng tumanggap dahil sa JMC. Sila ay pwedeng kasuhan under RA 6713, which is the Code of Ethical Conduct of Government Officials. Civil service rules do not distinguish the agency action from the action of its officers or employees. Otherwise, who will be made accountable for violation of civil service rule if we accept that interpretation? Sabi ko nga, hinanap po yung Tagalog term para sa preposterous. Kasi yung nakita ko, preposterous, unreasonable, at absurd. Pero Pilipino term na absurdo. So, I also want to reiterate yung sinabi ni Yul na itong opinion na ito ay contrary with our obligations under the FCTC. We ratified this in 2005 and is now part of the Lands Agreement. As also decided by the Supreme Court in the case of the Department of Health versus Philippine Tobacco Institute. As we have always said sa tobacco control community, there is an irreconcilable conflict between the tobacco industry and public health. Kasi ang tobacco industry nagtitinda ng mga produkto na nakakamatay. at jeopardize yung future of our youth and children. So we remain firm that the joint memorandum circular, which was signed by then DOH Secretary Esperanza Cabral and then CSC Chairman Duque, is in line with Article 5.3 of the FCPC. Side story lang, para sa akin nung nasign na yung JMC, para talagang providential. Kasi dalawang Secretary of Health. Si Secretary Duque was Secretary of Health before si Madam Esperanza Cabral, Secretary of Health. So sabi ko, dalawa, matibay dapat itong JMC. Kasi nakita naman natin na maraming devastating effects ang tobacco industry. They are meddling with our health and governance policies. So meron ako bibigay sa inyong perfect example. Kakapasa lang ng RA 11900 or Vape Regulation Law, which pag binasa nyo, obviously favors the tobacco industry. Winatter down nila yung batas na sinay na ni 31 year ago lang, na mas maganda, no? Kasi doon, ang access noon is 21, pero ngayon ginawa nila 18. Tapos, ang mag-enforce ng law, DTI, na wala namang kapasidad. Sorry to say. And, yung batas na yon na pinasa ng Congress noong January 2022, a few months before the national election, with 211 legislators, more than one half, who voted for its passage. So maganda natin din, sino nga ba yun, no? Obviously, mga, I don't have to say, pro-tobacco yung mga yun. Kaya ngayon naman, nakita natin ang paano in-implement yung vape law. Siguro, share na yung. So, hindi na ako mag-explain doon. But at this point, we cannot allow the tobacco industry to brainwash and cover up the harms they inflict on the health of the Filipino people. I'm also concerned about the global repercussions. Kasi, last January, sa COP10, ano ito ang sabihin ng COP10? Committee of Parties, no? Nakatanggap na tayo na ating fifth, panglima na 30 ASPE Award. And way back in 2018, the COP loaded the JMC as a global best practice in implementing 5.3 in an official report to the WHO. Still and all, after having said this, I must say that there is beauty in the DOJ opinion. Bakit? There is the blessing of an opportunity to renew our faith on the JMC. Kaya tayo ngayon JMC. Kaya tayo ngayon, it has brought us together to discuss about this crisis, and maybe we can reflect on our shortcomings and kaya tayo nagkulang to promote awareness of tobacco industry reference. So amidst this setback lies an opportunity to renew and strengthen our faith in the JMC, learn invaluable lessons from our experiences, and fortify our determination. In the opinion of the DOJ, there is a suggestion for the DSW to consult with CSC and DOH. And this has provided a crucial opening. While there's a growing demand for the DOJ to reconsider its opinion, patience will be key at this point because baka it will take a long time bago magkaroon ng reconsideration. But personally, I believe that the most principled and ethical course of action lies in Secretary Gonçalves' hands. So I earnestly hope and pray that he chooses to decline the donations from the tobacco industry. And such a magnanimous decision would undoubtedly catalyze significant advancement in fortifying and consolidating respect for the GMC. So, salamat sa inyo, mga taga-media. Isang major pillar kayo ng good governance. So, salamat sa ginagawa niyo. At marami ding salamat sa lahat ang nandito. No? Sana magkaroon pa tayo ng iba pang meetings, consultation para masolidify natin yung ating posisyon. Thank you. Magandang umaga.
Maraming salamat po, former Commissioner May Mendoza. Ngayon naman po para basahin ang pahayag ni former Secretary Esperanza Cabral, tinatawagan natin si former DOH Undersecretary Dr. Madeline Valera.
Isang malusog na umaga ho sa inyo. Medyo inihika din ako, pasensya na. Pero di ko pwede matanggihan si Secretary Cabral nung tinawagan niya ako na para i-represent siya at basahin ang kanyang statement. Hindi rin, she's not also feeling well. Pero despite of that, talaga she took the effort to come up with a statement. And allow me, please, to read and give justice to her statement. With due respect to the DOJ legal opinion on the acceptance of donations from the tobacco industry. The tobacco industry uses donations as an advertising tool to reach government officials and influence the latter for its own interest. Sabi nga ni Secretary, bakit ba sila namimigay ng regalo? Eh di bayad na lang nila sa buwis. The money funding these donations are from the industry profits, which is responsible for the preventable diseases, deaths, and sufferings of Filipinos. Secretary Cabral po ay isang cardiologist. Cardiologist po nga siya eh. Acceptance of donations provides a venue for the tobacco industry to be associated on issues involving children, healthcare, education, livelihoods, and in the case of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, as a partner in disaster and humanitarian response. The government, by taking money, allows itself to be manipulated and supports the manipulation of the public, specifically the youth, who are the target of the tobacco industry as their replacement users. Natural ho, pag kumawa tayo ng pera sa tobacco industry, di ba ang mga Pilipino mahilig sa utang na loob? Sabi nga ni Sec, di may utang na loob ka na? Dahil tumanggap ka eh. Kahit na simpleng cake lang yan. Para ka na rin nagkaroon ng utang na loob. Every year, more than 100,000 Filipinos die due to tobacco consumption. Good morning, ma'am. Isa pong aking idol din na dito dumating. This is the largest continuing disaster our country has experienced. May I please repeat? More than 100 Filipinos die due to tobacco consumption. At yung GYTS po natin ay sinasabi na pataas na among the youth, 14% of the youth are now cigarette smokers and 12% of our youth are now vapers. So pataas na po ng pataas ang ating mga kabataan na gumagamit ng vape. Sabi nga ho ng pamangking ko, tita, sa school namin, sa Lasal, iligan niya na lahat halos ang mga klase niya are into vape. So nakikita niyo na yan, baka mas worse pang COVID pa yan. But allow me to continue Secretary Cabral's statement. Sorry po. This is the largest continuing disaster our country has experienced and will continue to experience unless tobacco consumption is reversed and put to an end. Ganun na rin sa vape. Acceptance of donations makes the government complicit in this disaster. Di tayo palang gumagawa ng disaster, ang gobyerno pag ganun. The DSWD should reject any partnerships and donations from the tobacco industry. It should maintain its progressive policies of banning the acceptance of donations and rejection of partnerships with the tobacco industry. Ganun na rin siguro dapat ang Department of Health at iba pang departamento na sa ating gobyerno. Siguro pati na rin ang Malacanang. I also call on my former colleagues in the Department of Health, the SWD, and other national government agencies to hold the line, avoid, and prevent conflicts of interest with the tobacco industry, and maintain our obligation of protecting the right, may I repeat, maintain our obligation of protecting the right to health of our people, especially our youth. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Madeline Valera. At maraming salamat din po kay former Secretary Cabral para sa kanyang pahayag. Ngayon naman po, kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, no, mapalad tayo at kasama natin yung mga kinatawan ng pamahalaan na pumirma doon sa JMC na pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. So kanina binasa yung statement ni Secretary Cabral. Ngayon naman po, tatawagin ko ang representative ng Health Justice para basahin ang ipinadalang statement ng dating Secretary ng Department of Health, si Secretary Duque. Pero bago po siya magsalita, I'd like to recognize also our former CSC Chair, Ma'am Cory. Welcome po. So, tinatawagan ko po si Mr. Ralph Degolacion para basahin ang statement ni former Secretary Duque.
Yeah. Thank you, Au. I am going to read the statement from former CSC Chairperson and former DOH Secretary Francisco T. Duque III. When I was chairperson of the Civil Service Commission in 2010, we worked together with the Department of Health, then led by Secretary Esperanza Cabral, to operationalize the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, or the WHO FCTC, a treaty signed and ratified by the Philippines. Our efforts resulted in the issuance of the CSE-DOH Joint Memorandum Circular number 2010-01, which sought to implement Article 5.3 of the WHO FCTC that calls on state parties to protect public health policies from commercial and vested interest of the tobacco industry. For over a decade, the Philippine government has remained steadfast in protecting the bureaucracy from tobacco industry interference. It has stood its ground even in the midst of a pandemic. While I am grateful that the Department of Justice has upheld the prohibition insofar as individual public officers and employees are concerned, I fervently hope that the DOJ considers its position with respect to government agencies and institutions. This should likewise not be allowed to accept donations from or otherwise partner with the tobacco industry for their corporate social responsibility activities. The government cannot effectively do its job of warning the public of the dangers of tobacco use, which includes, among others, cancers, lung and heart diseases, when at the same time it is accepting their donations and assistance with open arms. The government should have no part in tobacco companies' public relations strategies to enhance their image and promote their interest. The interests of public health and the tobacco industry are so fundamentally irreconcilable that it is imperative to protect our policymakers and government institutions alike from conflicts of interest so that they can freely decide on what is best for the health of Filipinos. Signed by former Secretary Francisco T. Duque III. Thank you po.
Maraming salamat, Ralph, at maraming salamat kay former Secretary Duque ng Civil Service Commission. So, Secretary Cabral and Secretary Duque, silang signatory dun sa Joint Memorandum Circular. So malinaw naman, no, sabi ni Doc Yul, mali ang DOJ. This is categorical. Mali, hindi logical. Sabi ni Commissioner May, nakakabingi ang katahimikan ng CSC ngayon at Department of Health. This is preposterous and absurd and unreasonable. Sabi ni Yusek Mads at ni Secretary Cabral, this is the largest and longest continuing disaster, yung tobacco epidemic. And when the government decides to accept donation, they are complicit in this disaster. At sabi ni Secretary Duque, nananawagan siya sa DOJ na i-reconsider ang legal opinion na ito na pwedeng tumanggap ang government agencies ng donation mula sa tobacco industry. Ngayon naman po, hihinga natin ng pahayag ang mga kasama natin mula sa dalawang mahahalagang sektor na very much affected dito sa issue na ito. No? Mula po muna sa hanay ng mga magulang. Tinatawagan natin si Ms. Teresa Rosia mula sa Parents Against Rape para sa kanyang pahayag.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sabi nga ni Com May, blessing po ang ngayong araw na sama-sama tayong lumalaban against dito sa industry sa stand ng DOJ. Dahil po, importante po ang boses ng bawat isa. Ang media at ang bawat organization na nagsasama-sama ngayong araw. Para i-remind yung government officials sa WHO, FCTC, dahil signatory po tayo and it forms part of the laws of the land. JMC Joint Circular 2010-01 ng CSC and DOH. And syempre, meron po tayong RA 11900, yung vape law. Allow me po to read our stand sa Parents Against Vape. We, as concerned members of Parents Against Vape, express profound dismay over the recent legal stance from the Department of Justice permitting the Department of Social Welfare and Development to accept donations from individuals and businesses associated with the tobacco industry. This decision poses grave risk to the health and welfare of our children and youth. Our foremost worry revolves around the impact of this decision on vulnerable young minds, allowing the DSWD to receive donations from the tobacco industry sends a misleading message, especially to our children, implying the tobacco industry, despite its detrimental impact on public health, are our partners. Since tobacco use stands as a primary cause of 7 out of top 10 non-communicable diseases in the Philippines. By accepting such donations, the government risks normalizing the presence of the tobacco industry within the sectors dedicated to the public health and welfare. This undermines our national effort to combat tobacco usage and mitigate its severe health consequences, creates perceptions of partnership or endorsement that are incompatible with public health goals and compromises the integrity of public health policies. Moreover, this decision raises concerns about potential conflict of interest within TSWD and other government bodies. It opens avenue for the tobacco industry to influence public health policies and initiatives, which should remain independent of vested interests that could endanger public health, particularly that of our children. Practical concerns should also be raised on how the government plans to ensure donations from tobacco industry do not impact the priorities and decisions of the SWD. How will the government ensure that the donations from the tobacco industry do not influence and the priorities and decisions of the SWD? How will transparency and accountability be upheld to prevent undue influence from these entities? From the legal perspective, the DOJ's opinion overlooks critical provisions and broader contextual considerations within existing laws and regulations. Joint Memorandum Circular 2010-01 of the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Health, particularly Section 3.3, explicitly prohibits government officials and employees from soliciting and accepting gifts, favors, or donations from tobacco-related entities. These prohibitions align with Republic Act 6713, which is the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards of Public Officials and Employees, and the Code of Professional Responsibility and Accountability, which is the CIPRA, which are designed to prevent undue influence and conflict of interest in government operations and transactions and safeguard the integrity of public service. The DOJ's narrow interpretation of the prohibitions under GMC number 2010-01 overlooks the spirit of these regulations. While the DOJ urges that the JMC's prohibition apply only to individual officials and not to government agencies as a whole, this narrow interpretation fails to address the systemic risk posed by accepting donations from industry whose products directly harm the public health. Furthermore, accepting donations from the tobacco industry runs counter to our commitment under the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. The WHO FCTC, to which the Philippines is a signatory, mandates strict measures to curb tobacco consumption due to its well-documented adverse health effects. Article 5.3 of the WHO FCTC specifically mandates that parties protect public health policies from commercial and other vested interests of tobacco industry, a principle that should guide national policies and regulations. The DOJ's interpretation not only undermines existing laws and international comments, but also fails to uphold the public interest and the fundamental duty of the government agency to protect public health. Accepting donations from the tobacco industry, even if legally permissible under this opinion, sends a wrong message and compromises the integrity of public service. We urgently appeal to the government to reconsider this decision and prioritize the health and welfare of our children and youth. Accepting donations from tobacco industry contradicts the spirit of WHO FCTC and our national legal framework aimed at safeguarding public health and promoting ethical governance. It is imperative that we uphold our commitments to protect public health and prevent the undue influence of tobacco industry on public health policies. In light of these grave concerns, we urge DSWD to decline donations from tobacco industry and seek alternative fund sources that align with the broader public health objectives, commitments to tobacco control, and the protection of our children and of future generations. Sana po, samahan niyo po kaming lahat. Ang boses po ng bawat isa ay mahalaga. Tulungan niyo po kami sa laban na ito upang palakasin po ang boses at ang pag-protect po sa bawat miyembro ng ating sosyedad, lalo po ang mga kabataan. Maraming salamat po.
Kami po ay nagpapahayag ng pagkadismaya sa ating mga kinaukulan mula sa Department of Justice at nananawagan sa DSWD maging ang ibang ahensya ng gobyerno na pahalagahan ang karapatan at kalusugan ng mga kabataan laban sa interes at impluensya ng tobacco industry na nagdulot ng malaking pinsala sa kalusugan, hindi lamang sa ating mga kabataan, kundi pati na rin sa kanilang pamilya, kapaligiran at lipunan. Dahil unang-una po, nananatili pa rin ang paninigarilyo, paggamit ng vape at iba pang nakakasamang produkto mula sa tobacco industry bilang pangunahing sanhi ng iba't ibang sakit at kamatayan. Malaking bahagdan po ang ginagasto sa pagpapagamot ng tobacco-related diseases kumpara sa anumang financial benefits ang maaaring makuha mula sa donasyon ng tobacco industry. Pangalawa, conflict of interest. Salungat po ito sa moral na obligasyon at pangunahing responsibilidad ng ating gobyerno na magsulong ng mga programang pangkalusugan. At CRN and PLCPD, we firmly assert that there exists a fundamental and irreconcilable conflict between public health and the interests of the tobacco industry. And lastly, protecting children and youth is the most important reason to refuse these donations. Dahil patuloy po ang industriya sa pag-target sa aming mga kabataan, kaya tumataas ang bilang ng mga gumagamit ng vape at kaso ng mga nagkakasakit. Rather than accepting donations from the tobacco industry, mas nararapat na sila ay panagutin sa pag-target sa mga kabataan at pagbayarin sa pagkasira ng buhay, gastusing pangkalusugan, economic losses at ang hindi masusukat na social costs. Kaya nananawagan po kami sa DOJ na i-reconsider po ang kanilang opinion at tumindig kasama namin mga kabataan at public health advocates. Gayun din sa DSWD, i-uphold ang DOH-CSC Joint Memorandum Circular 2010-01 which aims to implement FCTC Article 5.3 by prohibiting unnecessary interactions between the tobacco industry and the government. Ang pagtutol sa anumang donasyon mula sa tobacco industry ay mas pagpapatunay sa commitment ng ating gobyerno sa pangangalaga ng kalusugan at kapakanan ng mga kabataan laban sa panghabang buhay na adiksyon. Dahil ang sigaw po namin mga kabataan, pagdating sa aming kalusugan at kapakanan, hindi partner ang tobacco industry. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Roy, sa paalala. So, lahat ng ating speakers sinasabi, DOJ, reconsider your opinion. DSWD, reject the donation. At paalala rin sa lahat ng ahensya ng ating pamahalaan na huwag kayong tumanggap ng anumang donasyon mula sa tobacco industry. May kapalit po ang lahat. Walang libre. So, bago po natin i-open ang Q&A, hihingan din po natin ng salita ang former chair ng CSC, Ma'am May. Ma'am Cora.
Buti na lang hindi ako DSWD Secretary. Sapagkat ako DSWD Secretary pa, titiyakin ko na yung sinabi ni Teresa Rosia, Parents Against Rape, at saka si Roy Meca, and of course, si Dr. Madeline Valera are all very important na kailangan masunod. And of course, I'm here because si Commissioner May Mendoza is with Health Justice at every other Tuesday, meron kaming radio program bago ang lahat mamamayan muna. Kaya ako nandito para mag-imbita na sundan nyo dahil makatutulong din sa, and of course, not to say the least, si Dr. Ulysses Durateo naging guest na rin natin sa ating programa. Siguro, I was shocked to begin with na ang vape shops naglipa na sa buong Metro Manila. Shocked ako kasi para sa akin, ginawang okay lang na magkaroon ng vape shop dahil hanap buhay. At paraging sasabihin ng mga tao, kasi hanap buhay yan. Ang tawag ko doon, hanap patay. Dapat yung doktor ng mga nakikita namin ay sinasabi na talagang walang pag-asa kapag nagsimula at lalong nagpatuloy. So, siguro kulang ang mga ospital. Ang kwento ng doktor na guest namin ay parang sinasabi na hindi gagalaw. Tama si Dr. Valera na hindi gagalaw ang Department of Health sapagkat right now, ang issue ng sigarilyo at vape ay nasa Department of Trade and Industry. It is a trade, it is an industry para bang lalabanan may mga tao na naghahanap buhay. Yun ang dating. Pero di ba dapat protection na natin, lalo na yung mga mahirap na huwag mamatay dahil sa sigarilyo, dahil sa vape. At the moment, nasasabi ko na lang nga ako sa Department of Social Welfare at nakita ko na minsan nagiging problema yung politiko. Kapag ang politiko ang naupo sa isang departamento, mahirap lumagay sa mga issues na dapat sundan. So sa akin lang, hindi ako dito para magsalita, pero para makinig lalo at laliman ang kalaman tungkol sa isyung pinahinaharap natin. Basta ako ay nakikisa sa mga nagsalita dito at naniniwala na ipagpatuloy ang laban against vaping, against cigarette, against for tobacco control. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Cora. Ngayon po ay binubuksan natin ang floor para sa mga katanungan. Sige po. Maaari pong magpakilala at sabihin niyo po yung media outlet and kung kanino rin po naka-address ang inyong tanong.
Hello, good morning. I'm Vic Sumintak of Net25. Matigas ang paninindigan at nakikiisa sa inyong advokasya. Based on your position, it seems that the Department of Justice erred in the interpretation of the Joint Memorandum Circular enacted by Civil Service Commission and the Department of Health, which is prohibiting unnecessary interactions with tobacco industry, only applies to individual government officials and not institution, because it is not in accordance with government obligations under the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, which no less than the Supreme Court has recognized as part of the law of the land, and calling to the government to reject tobacco industry to use corporate social responsibility. My question is, do you have any plans to file a declaratory relief to the Supreme Court to once and for all to clarify which is more binding, the mere opinion of the Department of Justice or the Joint Memorandum Circular and the position of the World Health Organization?
So ito po ay legal opinion lamang, no? Hindi ito binding sa ating mga ahensya. So sa ngayon ay hindi...
Wala pa tayo plano mag-file ng motion for reconsideration. Kasi medyo madugo yun. Sino mag-file? Ang pwede lang mag-file, DSWD and DOH. Tayo, wala tayong personality. I don't know kung tinitignan natin yung legal. Yeah, as concerned taxpayers.
You must go to the Supreme Court. Consult your legal group and file declaratory relief in order to stop or nullify the opinion of the Department of Justice. Because I suppose which is finding is the Joint Memorandum Circular and the position of the Guardian of the Commission.
Salamat po.
It was recognized by the Supreme Court itself that is binding and part of the law of the land.
Meron din sinabi ang DOJ na pwedeng ang DOH at DSWD ang DOJ at DSWD magkipag-usap sa DOH at CSE. So yun ang opening. So sa akin, may opening pwedeng pag-usapan. O malay natin, baka si Sec Gatchalian magsabi siya na hindi ko tatanggapin to. Yun ang aking prayers.
I think, ma'am, the Secretary of DPWH and DSWD will not do that because they are the beneficiaries of that legal opinion from the Supreme Court.
Opo, so wala pong makakapigil kay Secretary Gatchalian para tanggihan ang donation kahit na naglabas ng ganitong legal opinion ang Department of Justice. Hindi rin po sinasabi ng legal opinion na tanggapin ninyo. Sinabi niya lang po yung ito ay in accordance with the CMC joint memorandum circular ng CSE and DOH.
Mayroon akong dagdag.
Sige po, Kong.
Alam nyo, ang AO11 ng DSWD tungkol sa JMC ay isang pinakamalakas, sabi na strongest ng policy na in-issue ng DSWD na hindi sila tatanggap at ito ng mga employees. So yun, so sa akin, sana pilingan yun ni DSWD Secretary. Yun lang.
So, thank you po, Kong no. Mismong DOJ nag-remind that you have a admin order na sinasabi the department and its officials and employees shall not accept donation. Any more questions po mula sa ating media partners?
We are having this forum because we're giving opportunity to those leaders right now in our country, in the department, to stand to what is right. It's difficult to stand to what is right. I've been in the Department of Health, I've been in PhilHealth, but still until now, I have to be concerned on my duty, even as a former official of the Department of Health. Mahirap hong manindigan, pero dyan ho ang malalaman natin kung gaano tayo katibay bilang isang tao at isang dating opisyal at isang mamamayan.
Tama po si Doc Mads. Andito po kami para palakasin ang boses na ma-remind ang mga government officials natin na huwag ma-compromise ang mga legal policies, ang mga government policies natin. Dahil sino pa ang magpoprotekta sa bawat mamamayan kung hindi ang ating government. And we would like to thank Sir Vin for reminding us na may another option kami. Pero dahil nga ito ay mabigat na legal battle, so kailangan po paghandaan namin if we will use that avenue. For now po, we have yung paulit-ulit na mini-mention, yung WHO-FCTC, JMC Joint Circular 2010-01, and RDA 11900, na lahat po ito merong sections na nagpo-prohibit sa engagement ng ating government officials sa tobacco industry. So for now, ito po ang maaari naming gamitin. Salamat po.
Can I just quickly add, yung paglabag po ng legal opinion nito sa WHO-FCTC, hindi lang Article 5.3. Sa FCTC, we also have Article 13, which requires the government to comprehensively ban all tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship. So kasama po sa sponsorship, itong mga corporate social responsibility, mga donasyon ng tobacco industry sa gobyerno, which means the government should really reject all of these donations. So dalawang articles po ng FCTC, which, as pointed out by Sir Vince, is recognized by the Supreme Court as part of the law of the land. So obligasyon po ng ating gobyerno na ipatupad ang lahat ng provisions ng FCTC. Ako po ay naging observer po sa FCTC Conference of Parties noong panahon na nag-negotiate ang Pilipinas kasama po lahat ng mga ibang bansa ng FCTC nitong Article 5.3 and Article 13 guidelines kung paano ma-implement ang dalawang provisions na to ng FCTC. At napakalinaw po ng obligasyon ay sa gobyerno, buong gobyerno po, the whole of government, and not individual government officials and employees. So it is incumbent on agencies to implement these provisions of the FCTC. So we are waiting, no? Nakarinig na po tayo from former CSC Chair, former Commissioner, Chair and Secretary Duque, and Secretary Cabral. These are government agencies that enacted the JMC. So alam nila kung ano yung ibig sabihin yan. And they are also implementors of the JMC. So we are expecting the current officials of the DOH and the Civil Service Commission to continue to uphold the JMC and what it stands for, to prevent tobacco industry interference in our policy making.
Criza Lopez po from Euro TV. I have prepared 3 questions for soundbite lamang po. What does this reflect kung sakali na yung ibang agency, DSW, and the other agency ng government ay tumanggap ng donations from tobacco industry? What does this reflect sa ating government? For former Commissioner, CSC Commissioner May Mendoza po.
Maaari silang kasuhan under 6713 ethical conduct kasi bawal. Meron talaga dong prinsipyo na bawal ang government employee tumanggap ng regalo, kahit na ano, research grant, at nag-issue ang DSWD na specifically tobacco industry bawal tumanggap. So pwede silang makasuhan. So yun ang pwede natin gawin.
So, ang maaari pong magkaso dito ay outside the government or private sector mismo or yung mga private person, maaari silang kasuhan kung susundin nila
ito. Hindi, ang private sector hindi. Kasi yun sa CTC, particularly yung gobyerno, tayo nag-ratify ang government natin na hindi tayo, ang gobyerno, hindi tatanggap ng kahit anong donasyon o regalo. Sino pwede magkaso? Kahit na sino, pwede. Nakita niya, marami na nga tayong evidence, ano? Pero yung mga kaso, meron 2 kaso, pero hindi masyado pang, ang tawag dito, parang hindi, parang walang response ang gobyerno. So siguro, yun ang dapat nating pag-aralan, na magkaroon tayo ng isang successful case. No? Kasi nung una, nung lalabas ng CSC and JMC, very careful yung mga agencies. I remember very well, I was there. Yung mga agency sought our opinion. Yung katulad DFA, pati Bureau of Customs, sumulat sila sa amin, ano ba ang gagawin namin sa ganito. And we always say, bawal tumanggap.
How about po kay Dr. Ulysses? Ano po sa tingin ninyo yung nare-reflect ng mga ganito kung sakaling tatanggap ang other agency ng donation from tobacco industry?
Well, itong mga donations from the tobacco industry are a form of bribery in our opinion. No? This is corruption in a very disguised form. If the government is very careful, then it should reject all of these donations because the tobacco industry never does anything for free. May kapalit po yan. No? And what is the kapalit? Hinihingi po nila na maging mas lenient ang batas para sa kanila sa regulation. So for example, sabi nga ni May kanina, our syntax law required the minimum age of access to be 21 years old for e-cigarettes. Noong naglabi po ang tobacco industry, binaba po ito ng ating mga legislators to 18 years old. Hindi po backward ang thinking po sa ganyang panukala. So, that is how the tobacco industry influences. At the time, I remember there were investigations by journalists like you po who discovered that the tobacco industry was already making donations to particular government officials. And we can see how these government officials, legislators, favored the vape law, which currently is very, very weak. So ganun po ang nangyayari po sa influence of the tobacco industry with regard to regulation of the industry?
Hello po. Ayun po, sa amin po mga kabataan, kapag nakikita po namin ang gobyerno na tumatanggap ng donasyon mula sa industriya, it sends a clear message to us, children and youth, that we are not being prioritized and protected by the government against the harms of tobacco. Malinaw naman po sa datos, sa mga pag-aaral at artikulo na ang pundasyon ng tobacco industry ay ang addiction sa mga kabataan at tinatarget po nila ang mga kabataan bilang mga replacement smokers at kita-kita po ito sa emergence ng electronic smoking devices or yung mga vape na may colorful packaging, flavorings, advertisements online, at saka may mga influencers na tinatarget nga ang mga kabataan. So yun, kapag nakikita namin ng aming gobyerno na dapat silang nagpoprotekta sa amin, na tumatanggap ng donasyon, nakikipagkamay sa industriya, nakikipag-interact unnecessary, sino na ang magpoprotekta sa aming mga kabataan?
Siguro this is my last question since yung second question ko isasagot na rin po. So on my end, ano po yung current trend ng data natin sa mga youth na gumagamit ng mga tobacco and vape? Ano na yung current data and at what age nagsisimula yung mga paggamit ng bata ng vape or ng cigarettes? Thank you po.
Right now po, ang smokers ay 14% sa youth and 12% naman dito ang vapers. 1 out of 7. Baliktad. So, 12% ang smokers and 14% ang vapers. And then, ang 1 out of 7 na kabataan ay may access po sa vape. Age nila ay 13 to 15 years old. Samantalang binaba na nga sa 18 ang age of access, pero 15 to 16 pa. Kaya kami po sa Parents Against Vape ay talagang naglalabi na ibalik natin sa 21 at much better siguro kung maging 25 nga ang age of access. Bakit? Para maprotektahan naman natin itong sobrang bata. Sabi nga dito, pagpunta ko namin dito sa Quezon City, 24 hours pa lang vaping shop. So, kung ito pong mga regulations na ito ay mai-implement, kahit po papano, mababawasan ang mga ma-expose na mga kabataan.
Do you find this alarming po para sa inyo?
Definitely po, alarming. Kasi po, recently, kung maaalala nyo, nag-trending po na merong isang youth na namatay. 2 years lang po siyang nag-a-access ng vape. So, healthy po ito, walang comorbidity, ngunit namatay because of E-Valley or vape-related disease. So, nakakabahala, 22 years old. What more po yung 13 to 15 years old?
So yung data po na 12% ang smokers at 14% ang vapers ay mula sa Global Youth Tobacco Survey 2019. Meron pa po bang ibang mga katanungan or concerns?